Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the high-stakes world of operational safety and emergency response in biofuel manufacturing. We're going to look directly at the raw, volatile realities of this industry, the ever-present threats of fires, explosions, and toxic releases. Because as you'll see, establishing rigorous operational oversight isn't just about ticking compliance boxes. It's fundamentally about survival.
Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the biofuel hazard landscape, then look at the cost of safety failures, how we track process safety incidents, measure those incident rates and their severity, and finally, how to build a truly robust safety culture. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the biofuel hazard landscape, where we'll identify the physical risks. Listen, operating a biorefinery is no walk in the park. It means constantly managing a seriously high-risk environment. We're dealing with highly flammable and explosive substances every single day. Add in the extreme temperatures and the immense pressure inside that specialized equipment, and, well, the potential for a severe safety hazard is just always there. A single compromised valve or a missed temperature spike, that could easily escalate into a disastrous fire or explosion if emergency shutoffs happen to fail. And managing these massive risks isn't just some internal operational headache. It's actually a core sustainability metric overseen by global regulators. The SASB standards, which are now under the International Sustainability Standards Board, explicitly require biofuel companies to formally account for how they manage these physical hazards. It really bridges that gap between the gritty, on-the-ground engineering realities and high-level corporate accountability. Moving on to Section 2, the cost of safety failures, where we assess the fallout.
So what happens when things actually go wrong? The financial devastation is immediate. The standard puts it pretty bluntly with this quote right here. Damaged facilities might be inoperable for extended periods, triggering lost revenues and huge repair bills. Basically, a major explosion doesn't just pause production for an afternoon shift. It can literally cripple a facility for months and fundamentally alter the financial stability of the whole operation.
But the fallout extends way beyond just the physical plant itself. Workforce injuries and environmental damage trigger a total cascade of severe business nightmares. Think massive regulatory penalties and incredibly costly litigation from affected communities. Plus, get this, markets actually penalize entities perceived as high risk, meaning they face a noticeably higher cost of capital. So poor safety isn't just a localized tragedy, it's a massive systemic financial liability.
Let's look at Section 3, Tracking Process Safety Incidents using the ANSI API RP754 methodology. To prevent that kind of fallout, strict standards are absolutely key. Enter the Tier 1 Process Safety Event, or PSE. This is the critical baseline for mandatory metric tracking. It draws a hard line, creating a universally standardized definition for what actually constitutes a severe process safety incident at any entity-owned or operated facility. It makes sure companies can't just hide or downplay a catastrophic event in their reporting.
Now, operational oversight really shouldn't stop at just the catastrophic stuff, right? Facilities can also choose to separately disclose equivalent metrics for Tier 2 process safety events. This gives everyone, from internal management to external stakeholders, a much more granular look at the hazard landscape. Tracking these Tier 2 events is crucial because it helps you spot near misses and systemic weaknesses before they blow up into those financially devastating Tier 1 incidents.
All right, on to Section 4, Measuring Incident Rates and Severity, focusing on the 3 critical SASB metrics. The standard mandates 3 specific tracking metrics to paint a complete picture of a facility's safety performance. First up is the Process Safety Incidence Count, or PSIC. That's just the raw annual count of your Tier 1 events. Second is the Total Incident Rate, or PSTIR, which normalizes that raw count. And finally, we have the Incident Severity Rate, or PSISR, which gives us a severity-weighted rate. Together, these ensure total data transparency across the whole industry. You might be wondering about that 200,000 multiplier you just saw in the calculations. Well, it's used to mathematically normalize both the frequency and severity rates against the total annual hours worked by everyone on site, employees, contractors, subcontractors, you name it. Why do this? Because it creates a completely level playing field. It lets investors and regulators accurately and fairly compare a massive multinational biorefinery right alongside a smaller regional producer. Finally, Section 5, Building a Robust Safety Culture, taking us from incident to mitigation. So, for any Tier 1 or Tier 2 event, the standard doesn't just want the raw numbers. It actually mandates a strict 3-step diagnostic protocol. Number 1, thoroughly document the incident and its outcomes. Number 2, isolate the specific root cause. And number 3, implement verifiable corrective actions. It's this mandatory feedback loop that takes raw tracking data and transforms it into actual continuous industrial safety improvement.
And those corrective actions, they are absolutely vital. As the source material outlines, these steps frequently result in major tech upgrades, like putting in automated emergency shutoffs on pressurized gear, or they lead to intensive new operator training programs. The whole goal here is to engineer human error and systemic flaws completely out of the refining process to protect the workforce and secure the facility.
At the end of the day, biofuel manufacturers are looking at a pretty stark operational choice. On the left side, you have a reactive state, facilities plagued by incidents, crushing litigation, injuries, and huge repair bills. But on the right side, you see the result of a robust safety culture, highly effective incident detection, heavily mitigated financial risks, and fundamentally better operational efficiency. Make no mistake, safety is directly and undeniably tied to long-term profitability.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question. How will implementing these precise tracking methodologies transform your facility's response to the explosive hazards of biofuel refining? Ask yourself, are you just surviving the hazard landscape day by day, or are you actively mastering it? The explosive risks are immense, but the choice of how you build your safety culture will ultimately dictate the longevity and success of your entire operation.